Welcome to this Christmas special podcast where we talk about some of the best mirrorless cameras you might want to check out over Christmas and in the new year. Some great cameras to check out. Do not go anywhere. And I'm Dave from TVR Creators, and I make weekly content on the best cameras for content creators or just people that just want a new camera. If that sounds interesting to you, do better like and subscribe. And let's start today's journey. Now, just so you know, I'm going to talk about a range of mirrorless cameras. We're going to start with the more expensive ones, then lead into sort of cameras that are sort of cheaper but just as powerful in different ways. Now, the first one I'm going to check out with you guys today is the Canon R50. Those of you that have been around a while, you may have seen a few videos on this, but if you're new here, as I know, there's always new people that pop on each video. The Canon R50 really is a great camera from Canon. This mirrorless camera, mirrorless lens, camera is an absolutely brilliant camera. Say that 10 times fast. Has a nice flip screen, which is really nice. It's a touch screen, so it's very nice to record yourself and very easy to do that. So as a content creator or making YouTube videos, it's a great camera to start with. This does have a viewfinder, it takes really nice photos. It takes photos at fantastic speeds. The shutter speed on this is really remarkable. I was very impressed when I've been taking pictures of this over the last few months. It has a easy photo button, easy record button, very easy to use, looks and feels professional. I really like the look of the R50. This 24.2 megapixel camera is really nice. Now, what I like about these mirrorless cameras, interchangeable lenses. Let's have a look at the sensor. Oh, let's get that nice shot there for you. There it is. Look, I love it when I get the light to reflect off it. Very easy to use. Now, it does start with an 18 to 45mm, which is perfectly fine for photos and video. This does record in HD and in 4K very nicely as well, and record slow motion HD in up to 125 frames per second. Say that 100 times fast. It's really nifty little camera. Now, what comes out the box? Usually a battery, usually a strap, usually the kit lens. Sometimes you'll get deals with a second lens. Now, the price to this is roughly about £600-700 or dollars, which might sound a lot to some people, but when you think the power that this produces, it's a fantastic camera. And it produces really sharp photos, really nice video, and just great in all different situations. So if you're out and about, it's really good. It just self-adjusts itself. The AI of this camera can help adjust any sort of setting for you. Even a low light, it produces really nice photos. And what I like about the R50 is it's so easy to use. If you're a complete newbie to cameras, it doesn't matter, because you can stick it into video mode or automatic mode if you're taking photos, and it would just produce the best photos and videos you can think of. So it's a really nice camera. Now, all the cameras I'm talking about today, I will leave links for you in the description, so you can go and check them out if you so wish. But I really like this camera. It's light, it's agile, it looks nice. Or also has a microphone jack, so you can attach any sort of microphone to it, being a shotgun mic or clip-on mic, depending on the situation you're going for. I would always recommend with any camera a spare battery. It's always handy to have, and a nice sort of tripod as well. That might be something you want to check out. I've got a range of tripods. I've got like a cheap one that cost me like £15 or dollars, right up to a slightly more expensive one, which was still only sort of £30-40, which was a really nice deal. And that's actually the tripod I'm using now. But this camera just really is nice to use. Now, if you want to save yourself a bit of money and you're recording other things or just taking photos, you might also want to check out the Canon R100, which is basically like the cheaper version of the R50. It doesn't have a flip screen. It still has a microphone jack, which is pretty cool. But I would say that's more of a photography camera, or if you're filming other people or other things. But if you're looking at recording yourself, you want an all-round camera that does everything, has more features and everything, then I would definitely check out the Canon R50. Now, if you're getting value so far from this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I've got a few more cameras to talk about yet, but why not buy some coffee or check out our merch? Link in the description below, and that supports everything we do here on the channel, bringing us absolute value, bringing value to you, the viewers. Now, the next camera I want to talk about is also a mirrorless camera. This is actually probably my favourite camera of all time. You can get these now for about $400 or $500. Sometimes you can get better deals. I recommend see if you can get a good second-hand one. Perhaps you might get a good deal, like $300-400. So you're sort of looking at half the price. Sometimes I have seen them for a bit pricier. I'm not quite sure why, but I would say the M50. There's a few years old now. Still records in HD. Still takes very nice photos. It's a 24 megapixel camera. It is interchangeable. It starts with a 15 to 45 mm, which I actually slightly prefer. I'm actually using that lens now because it's just a slightly wider lens, which is really good for content creation. Now, this is a great camera as well, has a nice viewfinder if you want to take some really nice photos. If you want something separate from your phone, I love taking photos and videos when I'm not getting binged by social media all the time. But I love the fact that this does have a flip touch screen, so again you can see what you're recording. It just produced really nice HD footage. It can record in 4K, but I wouldn't recommend it because it only does it in like basic, like 24 frames per second, and you know, obviously 4K does require much more space, but I find it perfectly good as a HD camera. I actually still use the M50 now. I actually have the Mark II version, which I'm using to record this, and it's just a powerhouse of camera still. You can change the lenses if you so wish, depending on the situation. Again, you'll probably get deals with the kit lens, maybe a second lens sometimes. If you get one new, it will have like the strap, a battery, all that sort of jazz. It has a microphone jack, so like I'm doing now, you can attach a microphone to this camera, making it a perfect powerhouse if you don't want to spend the earth on a camera. I still recommend, in the time of this video, the M50. If you don't want to spend the earth but you want a camera that still is a bit of has a punch to it, I still think the M50 is great. Obviously the R50 is a far superior camera, feels it's, you know, it looks more professional, it does everything better, but I would still recommend the M50 if you just don't want to spend the earth and you want a camera that can still do everything you need it to do. I still find it perfectly fine for making my weekly videos, and I still love the M50. Now, you do have a viewfinder, as I said, easy record button, easy photo button. You can play around with all the shutter speed and ISO like you can with the R50. It has lots of cool little settings. You can actually, in the Mark II version, you can actually attach a HDMI to it, use it like a webcam, which you can with the R50 as well. What's really cool about these, actually, using the Canon app, you can use its webcams and stuff like that on the R50. But you know, I still like the M50. This is still my favorite camera of all time for so many reasons. It has a, you know, a nice place in my heart and all that sort of thing, and I used, this was actually my main camera for about 4 or 5 years, so I absolutely still love the M50. Now, if you're looking at something like the R100, which is the latest of the sort of the range below what I've been talking about, but you want to save yourself a bit more money, I would perhaps check out the M100 or the M200, which you should be able to get for about £200 or £300 or dollars. If you look at the M100, which is obviously the oldest of the three, you can get them for about 150, 200, depending where you go. Just make sure that wherever you buy them from has good reviews. And these are nice little cameras. It has the kit lens, normally it's a 15-45mm. It's the same as the M50, which I'm using now. It has a flip screen, which is also touch screen. What I like about this camera actually is when you're taking photos, you can just tap the screen a bit like you can on some phones, and it will just take the photo, which I think is really cool. You can change the lens if you will. Now, obviously this is much more of a cheaper camera, so it doesn't quite have all the settings. It's definitely more of a HD video. It doesn't have a mic jack, but it's very handy if you just want an absolute basic but a powerhouse that, you know, if you're just recording indoors or on days when it's not windy, it'll be perfectly fine for video. It takes really nice photos. Until recently, I used to use this as my main camera for taking thumbnails of the cameras I was talking about. So I've got a good place for this in my heart. Again, the M100 is a really nice camera. Easy record button, easy photo button. It literally is very simple. You put auto mode, video or photo, and just have a few of the settings. But what I like about this is it's easy to use, and it's a little bit awkward sometimes to get the SD card out, but that's no bother. You just pull the flip screen up a little bit and then you get to the SD card. Again, if you get this new or second hand, you should get a battery with it and the kit lens, and maybe you might find a special deal somewhere with multiple lenses. So I would say this is really nice. And it's much smaller than the other cameras as well, so you know it'll fit in a smaller bag. And if you want to go on day trips, I've taken this on day trips and stuff like that. So this is just a really nice little camera. So depending, I would say the cameras we're talking about today depend on the situation and what you want from your cameras, depending what range and how much money you want to spend, what your budget is and all that sort of thing. So I just want to give you a range of cameras really of what you might want to think about buying. And I just want to say, if I haven't said it already, I just want to say have an absolutely amazing Christmas. Merry Christmas to all the viewers, and thank you so much all the subscribers that have supported us this year. I just want to say thank you so much. Your support goes a long way. And I'm Dave from TVR Creators. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and why not buy us a coffee, which supports everything we do here on the channel. But before you go anywhere, I'm going to leave you as always 2 end cards, and I'm going to bring you even more value. Thank you so much for watching. I'll probably see you in the next video, and as always, obviously, you guys rock. And I wish you a Merry, Merry Christmas.